AFC North, you ready?
Ooh, yep.
2-1. Browns.
Bengals.
Bengals. Did you say Browns?
Browns.
Yeah.
What?
Nah, dude, you're buying too much into the
Yeah,
hype.
give your
Week one.
explanation. Go on.
I ain't in the mood, I ain't hit the groove, I ain't hit the mood.
What's up, everybody? It is a Win is a Win podcast. Episode what, like 30? I think is what it is.
Yeah, this is 30. The big
Let's
30.
go, dude. I'm freaking on it today. Yeah, episode 30. We're pretty excited about the topics we have today. We'll be talking basically about the NFL. That's pretty much what it is. We're going to be talking a little bit about A-Rod and his little injury that happened last night, unfortunately. We'll also be talking about the rest of the NFL and division winners. But before we move on, I think we should all give a little fantasy recap of our league that we're in. I know this is the intro, but I can start off first. I got freaking dominated. Well, not even dominated. I only lost by like 20 points, 25 points. But my team freaking decided to lay an egg. Projected the most points, ended up getting, I think, like the third worst or whatever. But yeah, Jamar Chase decided to say, you know what? We're in Cleveland. I'm out. Same with Joe Burrow. And who else disappointed me? Oh, I didn't have Mitch Andrews, so that kind of sucked. And then, like, the Lions didn't use Jahmyr Gibbs, so that kind of sucked. So, it's okay. It's week one. It's always good to get that first loss out of the way, lower the expectations so I know seriously. So, and I play Sam next week. So, who knows? I could be at the bottom. Who knows?
All right, we're going into our recaps. Yeah, I did win. I saw that I was the lowest scorer to win, which is perfect for, hey, a win is a win. That's all I got to say about that. It's not like I did that bad either. I think I scored like 112-ish, so it's not the worst week ever. Beat Eric out by a few points, even with Kelsey being out, who was my first pick. Yeah, I mean, Tua was really good for me, and the rest of the team was just solid. I did lose JK, and that hurts me more as a Ravens fan more than a fantasy team owner. But at least he got me some points before he got hurt. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm happy with my team. Brandon Ayuk blew up on my bench, so he'll be going in the starting lineup next week. That's for sure. Won't be making that mistake again. He looked really good. Yeah, I like where my team's at. I think I got a good chance.
Well, I guess I'm the last to talk about my team. I did terribly too. I feel like this is kind of a running thing. My team just always sucks in the first couple of weeks in fantasy. But yeah, no, my team only scored 91 points. That was the second worst in the league that week, I think. I thought my team did all right. I mean, I kind of sold and flex. George Kittle, my tight end, he didn't do too great. I did terrible on defense. Minnesota had 2 points. I drafted the Jets to play. They had 21. I can never get defenses right. And then I also have Aaron Rodgers as my QB. And he dropped a fat goose egg. He decided to break his Achilles 4 plays in on Monday. I had no chance of beating CB at that point. So I was just like, well, throw in the towel. I guess we'll group together and play Madden next week. I'm prepared to go 0-2, but it's not new for me.
At least someone will be joining me in the win column next week. That's a guarantee. Someone is going to win, and they're going to join me. And one of you is going to be without a win, and so whoever that is between you two is going to be in for a long episode.
Bro, I feel like this might be the week for the Zach Wilson card, my guy.
Oh my god! Oh yeah, you want to bet on Zach Wilson card?
Well, I mean, I feel like I want to get it anyways, but
that's true. He does. He is going to be playing for it too next week.
How about this? And I know this is still the intro, but before we go into the A-Rod thing, how about this? If I win, because I'm going to get the card either way. If I win, I just get the card. But if I lose, I'll pay you like $25 on Venmo or whatever for it.
Whoa.
$25. Whoa.
Well, because I'll pay you that. Or $50, whatever it is. Like, I'll pay you for it. How about that?
I'll have to let you know. I'll have to let you know about it, Matt, because I don't know. There's stuff to think about, but I'm sure we will have another podcast episode before then, so we'll discuss a little bit more. And yeah, Zach Wilson, he's gonna be playing for the Jets now that A-Rod died on the field. It sucks for him, I'll be honest. I'm not a big A-Rod fan in the first place, but we pretty much saw his career end on Monday night.
I do
Yeah.
have to say real quick. Every time you say A-Rod, I keep thinking of Alex Rodriguez, and I
I
apologize for
think so
that.
too.
Sorry,
Anyways,
I know like they call him A-Rod as well because of Alex Rodriguez, right?
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, Alex Rodriguez, A-Rod, so. But I don't know. Did you guys watch the game last night? Like, all I know for me, like whenever I was watching the game last night, and Charles watched the regular, like the regular broadcast. I watched the Manning cast, which I really love the Manning cast. I know Charles doesn't. But like I went to go to the bathroom, like I turned it on, went to go to the bathroom, and like next thing I know, like Aaron Rodgers is like out, and they keep replaying this. I'm like, oh, like did he fumble it or something? And like nothing happened. And I was like, oh, okay, like this is interesting. And then like a minute later, like, oh yeah, so his Achilles might be torn, and I'm like, wait, what? And I had to like watch the play like so many times because I was like, how did this like even happen? Like it looked like a routine like sack, like it didn't look bad at all. And then it's like, yeah, Aaron Rodgers is pretty much done, and I'm like, he only got 4 snaps. Like what the heck? Like the most hyped debut, like Monday Night Football, and then it's like, oh yeah, he's not going to play right now. It's like what?
Yeah. It was pretty frustrating to watch because I was watching the regular ESPN broadcast live and I saw that happening. I had to watch the whole game live because not only do I have Rodgers on my fantasy team, I also had Garrett Wilson. So I needed them both to kind of ball out for a chance to win week 1. But yeah, I was watching that game too, and it just looked like he got sacked and he stood back up and then he just laid back down. And I was like, what is he doing? And then he just nonchalantly just limped off and got carted away. And he's like, oh yeah, he might be out for the season.
Sam's like, I need you to play for my fantasy team, dog.
Yeah, seriously.
yeah,
And
I was
disappointed.
I was still finishing cooking dinner when the game had started, so I was kind of in and out, almost like Matt. I wasn't really focused on the game yet. And I kind of, walked in, and right when I basically had finished and got everything settled in, it's like might have been right before or right after the sack had happened. I can't remember honestly exactly what happened. I just remember him falling to the ground on the camera, and then they're like, Rodgers is coming out. And I was like, oh, huh. I thought maybe, I really only thought maybe he got his ankle rolled up on or something. I did not. Once you watch the slow-mo replay, you can see the calf pop, and then, that's when you can, you know that something happened. But yeah, I thought maybe it was just like an ankle like sprain or roll up, and next thing I know, he's in the tent, and then I think I was getting something as well, and then I hear in the back, I hear they're getting the cart for Aaron Rodgers, and I'm like, oh wow, it didn't even feel real, and it still doesn't feel real. 4 snaps in, he's been pretty durable. He's had maybe a few injuries, but nothing major. And
the only major one was his collarbone.
But yeah, even then he only
broke it. But even then, he only missed what, like 5 games?
No, he missed like 7, but that's still not too bad at all. And yeah, just this debut, whole new team. It still just doesn't feel real, and I don't. It sucks a lot for sure, and you never want to see that for anyone. And I'm like Sam, I'm not a big Aaron Rodgers fan, but you never want to see that. And it really did suck the life out of the Jets in that moment, and kind of the rest of that first half. I would say it just felt different. Like the game just felt not the same after that.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know if any of you guys both saw like the run out, but it was pretty cool. Like him, like carrying the the American flag in because of 9/11. Playing in New York, all that kind of stuff. I was like, oh, like this pretty hype. Like I'm excited.
That was pretty awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh yeah, he's out. And then of course, good old Sam Cook decided to meme Zach Wilson pretty much like as soon as he got in, calling him the Kadarius Tonys of QBs, which obviously proved to not be true because the Jets actually did win. And I know people are like, "Oh, well, the defense, they basically won the game for them," which creating that many turnovers I can see, but at the same time, your quarterback still has to get you in positions to win. And I mean, granted, Zach Wilson did throw an interception, but he only threw one, whereas Josh Allen threw four. And then he did make a good play throw to Garrett Wilson. Was it three? Oh, sorry, a fumble. He had 4 turnovers, a fumble and 3 interceptions.
Yeah. Yep.
But I mean, I think he played better than what I expected to. And I mean, think about it. For the whole probably this past week, maybe even 2 weeks, he's like, okay, I'm going to be the backup QB for this season. I'm going to learn behind Aaron Rodgers. Like that first game, he's like, I'm not even coming in, right? And then 4 plays in, oh, hey, you got to come in. Like, that's hard to do too, So I think with everything going on, I think Zach played probably the best that would probably be expected of him to play at that moment.
That's fair. Because he definitely, no one saw that coming. Where a super hyped up QB like Aaron Rodgers too, especially just getting into a new team finally, and he just crapped out 4 snaps in. I would feel pretty bad for Zach Wilson too. So that's a fair argument. I'm obviously not as optimistic towards Zach as you are, Matt, but he did pretty solid for like the situation. I'll agree. Because I mean, I would be really, really nervous about if I were in his shoes. I wouldn't know what to do. So he took it like a champ. The Jets did win, so at the end of the day, he was the winning quarterback. So
yeah,
props to him.
Yeah, it was a gritty team win by the Jets for sure, and obviously the defense deserves so much credit, and they've gotten a lot of credit as they should. Of course, the special teams, the punt return wins the game. And yeah, going to the offense, I mean, Zach Wilson did enough. I would say he made enough plays when it needed to be to win the game. He didn't have to do too much at all. And obviously, me and Matt are both, or I would say I was more before, not now. I was more of a Zach Wilson supporter too. I believed in him. I picked him in Matt and I's Madden draft we did last year, and it cost me the win because of that. I believed in him, and he obviously proved me wrong last year because he was not very good, got benched. And so I worry a bit about it. And I'm kind of with Sam. I'm still not sure about Zach Wilson for this whole season, truly. But there were some things I saw that I did like, good decisions. But then, of course, the interception was pretty bad. And I still worry about those kind of throws, and because those kind of throws can lose you games sometimes. But yeah, it was an inspiring win. I mean, obviously, I think that they obviously came out in the second half and played a lot better. They got regrouped in the locker room, and it was really cool to see. Obviously, the atmosphere was electric when they did win. I'm sure obviously the emotions came down though when they realized still, Aaron Rodgers, the guy we traded for, who's supposed to maybe give us a chance, is probably done. But still, just a great win, I would say. But like I was saying about Zach Wilson, I'm not sure. Yeah, what do you guys think about the outlook for the Jets now? Obviously, we're potentially picked to win the division and make the playoffs. What do you see for them now? And do you think Zach Wilson can have success with the Jets?
I think that the Jets are a fringe playoff team. I think they can still get there considering their defense and stuff. I do think that Zach is your starter. I know they talked about bringing in some older quarterbacks and stuff like Carson Wentz and everything. But at the same time, it's like you're going to bring him in for a year. Those guys are going to get to, probably like him, surround him and stuff. But you're still going to have Zach there because he still has, a couple more years left on his deal and everything. And maybe having Aaron Rodgers for this whole summer, maybe that was like a kick in the butt for Zach to kind of take it more seriously. Like if you looked at whenever Zach had the interception and stuff, like guys actually came up to him and said, "Hey, it's okay," and Zach kind of responded. And even after the win, it wasn't like "Oh, I'm him." Like he went and celebrated with his teammates, which I think last year, I don't think that would have happened, just from what happened and everything. So I think Zach Wilson will do a decent job. I don't think he's gonna be like, MVP candidate or, all that kind of stuff. But I think out of the options that the Jets have right now, whether free agency or even the roster, I think he's the best one. And I think he's going to be QB1 till the end of the season until Rodgers comes back for next year. But I'd say fringe playoff team, like they're probably number 7, probably.
And also, yeah, that's another good point. You think Rodgers will play again then? You don't think
I
this is
do.
career
I
ending?
think he won't. I don't think he'll want to leave on that note. I think he'll come back, play the last year, and then be done. I think this injury, maybe sped up his retirement stuff, just because it is a really grueling injury to come back from the Achilles and stuff. So I think next year will be his last year, and he'll be like, okay, I'm good, I'm done. So.
What about you, Sam?
Yeah, I can agree with Matt. They're definitely a fringe playoff team in my mind. If Zach Wilson stays as the starter, I don't really know about that. I did also see those reports that they're working out a few more veteran QBs. I don't know if they'll have much success either, but it's still kind of interesting to see how that QB battle would work. But they definitely need like at least a kind of a solid QB to get that team going. They looked really, really good on defense and special teams on Monday night, which is great to see. But you need a good quarterback to start a good offense to actually win games. Defense is great, but you're not really going to do much if you can only put up like 7 or 13 or 14 points per game. And the Jets were really close to looking like that until like the very end of the game on Monday night against the Bills. Thankfully for them, the Bills kind of crapped out and Josh Allen did terrible. I don't know what his deal is lately, but he's just been awful. But yeah, I think the Jets for now at least, unless they do some like miracle trade happen or they pull magic out of their hat, they're probably fringe playoff team too. I agree. Probably record wise, I would say maybe like 8-9 or 9-8. Not too great, but they can still make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think obviously if Zach Wilson remains the starter, I could very well see a scenario where they do bring in a veteran or something and he performs poorly where he gets benched again. I could very well see that. But if he does stay the starter, I do think that they're competitive still, fringe playoff team. Because if you look at last year when Zach Wilson was starting for that little bit, I know he was hurt, I think, so he missed the beginning of the season. Then he came back. They were I think they were 5-1 with him as the starter. And so that shows that they can win with someone like him at quarterback. And then obviously that one New England game happened. That was a disaster. And he had the comment and then went all downhill from there. But before that, they were 5-1 with him as a starter. So if they were able to do that last year, I don't see why they can't have similar success this year with someone with Zach Wilson starting at quarterback. Do I think he can be better than he was last year? I do. Do I think he could be the same? I do. So I'm really not sure if he's gonna be the guy. This is kind of the year to prove it because this is year 3 now. He's had that wake up call, like Matt said, and if he doesn't deliver, he's really, I don't know if there's much more for him. So I personally am a little skeptical still about Zach Wilson and the Jets. I could see them finishing 9-8 though, just because of how talented their team is, and so they'll still stay competitive. But I don't know. I'm still skeptical on Zach Wilson personally for this season. So we'll see.
Yeah, that was a huge blow when they lost Aaron Rodgers. There was so much hype before the season started for him too. I feel really bad for Jets fans.
Yeah.
Well, to help us with time, because we have about 25 minutes left, we'll move on to our second topic, which is Charles wanted each of us to give a team that overachieved and underachieved. Yes, Charles?
Actually, don't give me the credit. That was your idea originally.
Oh, yeah, that was my idea. Sorry. That was my idea. Charles, he's just the one who put it into the order. But I liked where we underachieve, overachieve. And let's just give our underachieve and overachieve, and let's see if any are similar, and then we can kind of talk about them together. We can all have the same ones if we want to. It doesn't have to be different, just for the sake of time, you know. But I already have my two kind of picked out, but I want to hear from you guys first, because I think we might have those similar ones. So let's start with Sam this time. Sam, who is your overachiever and who is your underachiever?
Yeah, I think.
By the way, real quick, Sam, also, I think it could be a player too, or something.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be a team. It could be
a
whatever.
player.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What just came to mind were two teams. I think we're all gonna have roughly the same ideas on what teams overachieved and what underachieved. It really did seem like in week one, a lot of really like hyped up teams underachieved for week one, which is sad to see. I mean, my Chiefs were the same. They sucked. The Patriots were the same. They kind of stunk. The Ravens, I mean, they didn't look great, but they still got the dub. So a win is a win. But my picks for overachieving team probably no, not even probably. It would definitely have to be the Dolphins. As terms of like a team that really did good and surprised everyone. Tua looked amazing. He looks like he was a goat out there. I mean, he threw for almost 500 yards. Him and Tyreek Hill had the best duo it looked like in the league by far. And I wish that was Mahomes and Travis Kelce too. They look so good. But that's besides the point. I think the most underachieving team was definitely the Bills. And that's not even really like a new fresh of the mind thing because they played last. Josh Allen, terrible. Like I don't know if he's even had a worse game in his career besides what happened on Monday. And then the rest of the team didn't look too great. It was awesome to see that DeMar Hamlin was on the sideline hanging out and giving support to his teammates, which is great and all to see. But I mean, strictly performance wise, there wasn't really anything to help. They should not have lost that game to the Jets. So those are my picks.
Sam, with two very good picks, I would say they were definitely in my wheelhouse for this conversation. My overachieving team, I'm going to go with the 49ers because I thought the 49ers Steelers game would be a lot more competitive than it was in Pittsburgh. And they really, truly impressed me. And of course, you could say, well, maybe the Steelers are underachievers, and I would say they were. But I just thought how the 49ers looked on offense and defense, it was better than I expected against that kind of team and, you know, at their place. And Pittsburgh's always a tough opponent, it seems like, for the most part. It was impressive. So I'm going to give it to the Niners. But there's other good picks out there, too, and obviously the Dolphins. And Tua, you know, there were some really good things that happened in that game. My biggest underachiever, I'm going to go, this one might be a little different. I'm going to go with the Bears, Chicago Bears. I watched a lot of that game because it was on for Fox, the 425 game for us. It was disappointing. I would say Justin Fields was disappointing. I expected better. I really did. And they got trounced. And Justin Fields still with, you know, I brought these concerns up. I remember when we talked about the Bears, this was our in-person episode. Remember we had the question, we were thinking about it. I know it's week one, but Justin Fields still concerns me as a thrower. And that game didn't really do anything to help me resolve those concerns. So I was disappointed in the Bears' effort in that game. The Packers really took it to them. I expected better. So that's my biggest underachiever.
I like those picks. My underachiever was potentially going to be the Bills, but I'm going to go with the Bengals. I thought they underachieved. I know the weather was terrible at Cleveland. But it would be nice to, like, it's weird. It's like if Joe Burrow can't throw, that team loses. Like, Joe Mixon wasn't really working. Like, none of the running game was working. Like, it just was a terrible game. So I would say that was an underachieving team, because I thought it would be maybe a little bit closer, than what it was. So there's that. My overachieving team is actually the Rams. And the reason why is because everyone thought they were going to be garbage this year and everything. And they still could be. It's week 1, right? Like, I think even last year, who was it that, like, I think it might have been the Bears who won week 1, right? And then they lost, and ended up having the number 1 pick, right? Or whatever it was. But yeah, I would say for sure it was the Rams that overachieved. I mean, they beat a good Seattle team 30-13 in Seattle, division opponent. I think really good. But to kind of be a little different, my overachiever for individual would probably be the rookie QB, AR-15, Anthony Richardson, or AR-5, I think is what it was. I think in Florida he was 15. But he played really well against a good Jacksonville Jaguar team. He threw for, I think, almost 300 yards, rushed for a touchdown. The thing that sucks is at the very end, he did get hurt a little bit. Yeah, I think it was a leg bruise or something like that. Like, he just got hit a little harder. But he's my individual that overachieved. But yeah, I mean, honestly, like, your teams that you guys chose, like, I definitely agree with all those choices for sure. I mean, the only one I kind of would say maybe wasn't overachieving would be the Dolphins, just because I think they are a good team. However, I do like Sam's analysis that, like, Tyreek and Tua probably overachieved for that week. So that's where I do give you props on that one, because I think individually they did overachieve, therefore making that team overachieve. So I do like that, Sam. But that's what I would say for mine.
That Rams pick was one that I had up there too, because that was impressive. And hey, your BYU guy, that receiver went crazy.
Oh, Puka Nacua?
Yeah, he was really, really good.
Yeah.
And he's going to obviously probably be one of the top waiver wire pickups for fantasy football.
Yeah, he was
Nice.
talking about drafting. But then I was like, you kind of had made fun of the dynasty one whenever that guy picked Puka Nacua, the BYU guy, and I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, I never heard of him. So I was like, who's that?
No, I really liked him. And then you're like, oh, what? And so in our league, I was like, should I draft him? Should I not? And I was like, well, I drafted Zach Wilson last year and he didn't do very well. So I was like, if I don't draft him, then maybe he does well. And thankfully, I'm one of the crappier teams. So, like, maybe I can get him at the same time. Like, I already have a lot of wide receivers. So, anyways, he played really well. I mean, 10 receptions for 119 yards. He looked really good. And he played well for BYU and stuff. He was always our good wide receiver. And if he was playing, we had a really good shot to win. So he was really good too.
Yeah, he looked great. He had 15 targets too to add to that on that game, which is pretty ridiculous. So he's definitely going to go up on waivers to some team.
AKA Sam.
I'm not going to reveal which waiver I have, but I'll just
have the second waiver because you were the second worst team.
I have the second waiver. Yeah, I have the second waiver. Matt is the third. But I'll just say my team's going to look pretty bad going into next week if I don't make a waiver move or two. Because it is tough when your QB goes down like that. So I got to do something.
Hey, but you got good old Kirky, though.
Oh, yeah. Kirko Chains.
Yeah.
So, sorry, Charles. So I was debating with Kevin in our league chat. We play fantasy on the Sleeper app, by the way, for context. Kevin and I were debating. So Deshaun Watson is still on waivers, but Kevin was trying to give me crap because Deshaun Watson, he obviously had all those allegations against him. He's not the coolest guy to have on your team. So him and I were debating. I was like, is it really worth it to have Deshaun on my team? Even if my starting QB went down, ultimately I decided not to, but yeah, I thought that was funny.
I was gonna also say, just since we're talking about fantasy, I'm really glad I picked Tua over Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. So
yeah. thing. That was a dub move. That was a dub move by you. I did not think Tua was going to do good this season.
He could
Just
still
'cause these
flop. It's week
concussion
one.
problems. Yeah,
But hey, that's what we're born to do as sports media
exactly.
podcasters. We're supposed to overreact to everything.
You're right. You're right. Overreact, we do. So
Yes.
it works out.
And well, it looks like we might be doing some overreacting because we are going to be doing division winners. So
Ooh, I'm
we're
excited.
each going to pick our division winners. Charles, I'm going to ask you to be the scribe to write this down.
Oh, you
So
want me to write it down?
Describe.
So at the year, whenever, our picks are just terrible, we can at least make fun of someone for,
Okay.
oh my God, you just picked the freaking, Houston Texans to win Super Bowl or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. Let me.
which Sam will probably do. But
Oh my gosh. No.
Well, we're just doing division, right?
No
We're
way.
not
but
doing
we're just doing
playoffs
division,
yet.
just division winners. So
Yeah.
would you boys like to start in the NFC or AFC?
Well,
I feel like the AFC might have some more fireworks, so maybe we do the NFC first. But it's up to
Okay.
you. You have about 15 minutes for this segment.
okay. Yeah, sure. We can all start by giving our NFC picks for whoever wins the division, right? Whoever
Yeah.
can win it, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I-
So do you want me? I can just be the moderator and just go, hey, we're gonna do this. But then Sam, we'll have you pick first. Like
Okay.
each time you can tell us what you want. We'll
Okay.
do Sam, Charles, and me.
Okay.
But let's start with the NFC North, not NFC North, NFC East, if that's okay. So NFC East. Sam,
Okay.
who do you pick?
Okay. Obviously I'm not too knowledgeable on NFC teams just because I'm an AFC guy. Chiefs are always in my heart. But NFC East wise, I mean, I don't want to give any credit to the Giants because they had one of the worst games against the Cowboys. But I also don't think the Cowboys are legit. I think people are overreacting a little bit. They haven't seen how bad Dak is, at least for this season. I mean, and the Eagles are tough to compete with. They had an amazing run last year, and I know this week kind of served as a fluke too. They were a little bit underwhelming, but I think they'll bounce back. I mean, you have Jalen Hurts at QB. He's turned into one of those elite guys. You can't really go wrong with him. So I would definitely go Eagles for the East.
So now I'm going to give mine. Correct?
Yep.
Okay. I would also just like to apologize. I know we're kind of cheating because we've already seen a week now of these teams. We always like to do this before. We weren't able to get it done. So I apologize for that on our behalf. All right. NFC East. Eagles are a good pick. Matt and I both picked them last year, but they just don't look as talented to me. And I just got to say it, not saying they'll have playoff success, but how about them Cowboys? I'm going to pick the Cowboys to win the NFC East.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. I think that they're better than the Eagles by a little bit, but in classic Cowboy fashion, they'll probably choke in the playoffs. So, but that doesn't mean they're not going to win the division. So Cowboys.
That's true.
I believe it hasn't been since 2000 and I think is it 9 or 8, something like that. There hasn't been.
Oh yeah, what is that streak? Let me look that up.
I think it's just 9. But I'm also gonna channel my inner Skip Bayless and say, "How about them boys?" Gotta go with the Cowboys on this one.
Gosh.
By the way, 2004 was the last. The Eagles was the last time to win back-to-back NFC East titles. That is absurd to me.
So there you go. So how about them boys?
We gotta keep the streak alive, man.
That's
So
true.
now let's go to probably maybe one of the worst divisions, the NFC North. Sam.
Really? One of the worst divisions? I thought you were gonna say the NFC South.
I said one of, not the worst, but one of.
That's true. That's
There's
true.
about 3 divisions that are pretty terrible, and 2 of them.
Yeah, you're not wrong. The NFC North is awesome, I think. I mean, I think all teams in that division is going to be pretty exciting, especially after Jordan Love balling out for the Packers. I would have said before this week happened, kind of like Charles said, we have a little bit of cheating going on because we watched the games already. But I mean, the Packers look awesome. And I would have said originally that they would have been the worst team in that division, but I'm not too sure now. It might even be the Vikings. I mean, it's hard to say that because I love Kirk, even outside of fantasy. I think we all love Kirk a little bit, but if I were to choose one team to win that division, God, I don't know. I mean, I think I would have to buy into the hype and say the Lions will win the division. I know it's a long shot, like on paper, but I really want them to win that division.
Okay, so you're going with the Lions for the NFC North?
Yeah, I'm going Lions.
Yeah, I remember when we did our in-person episode and it was the Bears segment. I'm pretty sure I thought the Vikings were going to win, but that was back in May. And as the offseason wore on, I just kept thinking, maybe because I'm here now or I'm real close. As much as good as the Packers looked, and I know the Lions beat the Chiefs, even if the Lions didn't beat the Chiefs, for example, I still think that the Lions are going to win the division this year because the Vikings scared the heck out of me week 1, and it's time to buy into the hype. I'm going Lions to win the NFC North.
I'm also going NFC Lions. The NFC North champs is the Lions.
Ooh, we all agree.
I mean, look who the Packers beat. I think anyone and their mom could beat the Bears right now. So, I mean, that's like now if the Packers play the Chiefs and beat them, then I would probably be more into the Packers. But I mean, I think even the freaking Houston Texans could beat the freaking Bears right now by a lot. So I'm going to go Lions. So let's go to the NFC West. I think we all know who this winner is going to be. So, Sam?
Yeah. I just want to say, Matt, the Texans are catching a lot of strays from you today.
Well, they haven't done much lately. So
That is true. They haven't. But yeah, I would kind of agree. The NFC West is pretty lopsided as for now. There's two absolute garbage teams, and the Cardinals and the Rams. It sucks because I want to see the Cardinals do good, but they're not going to be good for a while at least. And like Charles said, the 49ers look almost perfect, especially against the Steelers at home too. You can't not vote against the 49ers. So I'm going 49ers.
You said also that the Rams are garbage, but look what they did to the Seahawks. The Seahawks look garbage, if anyone. Yeah, this
That
is
is true.
one of the easiest divisions. 49ers, top to bottom, look great. Brock Purdy is him. So 49ers.
I'm also going 49ers, Brock Purdy. So
and then 49ers, South, Brock Purdy.
Yeah, we can just skip that. NFC South now. I think I gave a prediction of who I thought was going to win the NFC South like a long time ago, and I don't know if you boys remember, but I'm sticking with that team. Do you know who it is?
No, it's.
You have a 25% chance just to get it right off guess.
It was true. That was a while ago, Matt. I don't know. The NFC South, I think of any divisions in the NFC at least, it's kind of a wild card. Which team would make it out of there? So, what was the team that you picked, Matt?
Can't say yet. Looks like you're gonna have to wait. So, Sam, what team are you?
Okay. I'll give my pick first. Well, the only solid team on paper, at least, I'm not really basing this off of how they performed week 1. It definitely would have to go to the Saints. I mean, I still kind of love the Saints with Olave, and then they have that new addition in Derek Carr. He's definitely not a bad QB to play around, at least. So I don't know. It's tough between the Saints, and then I'd also have to give some credit to the Panthers. I mean, I still want to buy into that Bryce Young hype, even though he sucked week 1. But he's a rookie. He's a rookie, and he was a top QB in the draft last season. But I'd still probably have to go Saints. I think so.
Sam, you need to change your profile. Instead of saying Sam, it says Skip.
You're not going with the Baker Bucks?
The Falcons?
The Falcons.
Bro, they beat your Panthers like pretty good.
I mean they did, but I wouldn't say pretty good. I mean, Bijan, he was him, but
Okay,
I think the Panthers, obviously, Bryce Young is going to be a great quarterback in the future, but I don't think this year they're going to have much success. But
what about you, Charles? Who you
yeah,
going with?
I'm gonna go Saints too, most well rounded. I like the Falcons, but I don't like Desmond Ritter. He scares the heck out of me. I can't pick them just off of that. I'm going Saints.
I also was going Saints as well, even before that. So that was my team.
Okay.
So
I had a feeling.
let's go to the AFC now, and let's go to the AFC South. Let's just get the two probably worst divisions done. So okay, here we go. Everyone, choose your winner on 3.
Whoa.
1, 2, 3.
Texans.
Yeah. No, stop
Dude,
that.
No, this was like
Wow.
along with the NFC West, like the easiest to pick. The Jags
Yeah, I
have to
agree.
be
It's
the
a pretty
division
good-
winner. It has
Yeah.
to be them.
We could probably just all say on like count of 3 too, just to speed things up a little bit.
That's what Matt wanted to do. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, we can do 1, 2, 3 for the AFC teams.
Okay.
Let's do that. And then we can discuss after we say. All right.
Okay, AFC. Okay, let's go with the AFC West now.
Okay.
oh,
Ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Chiefs.
Oh, easy. Look at that.
100%.
I don't think the other teams still. I don't know.
Okay,
Too much hype around them.
AFC North. You ready?
Ooh, yep.
2, 1. Browns.
Bengals.
Bengals.
Oh,
Did you say
Browns.
yeah.
What?
Nah, dude, you're buying too much into the
Yeah,
hype.
Give your
week 1.
explanation. Go on.
I wanted to do Bengals, but at the same time, I knew that all of us were going to choose Bengals, and we really haven't chosen anyone differently lately. But I'm going to go with the Browns just because I like their run game with Nick Chubb. I think he's probably one of, if not the best running back, probably in the AFC. I mean, obviously you have Eckler and you have CMC as well in the NFC, but I think Nick Chubb's one of the best. Deshaun Watson, I think, will get better. He has Amari Cooper. You have Peoples-Jones, and you have Elijah Moore. That defense looked good with Myles Garrett and with Zaire Smith as defensive end. I think they're going to be a tough out. It's between them and the Bengals. I just wanted to be different, and so I'm going to choose the Browns.
Not the Ravens, even.
No,
No, they're probably third place.
I think
do-
Ravens are actually
all
going to
3 of those.
challenge.
I think all 3 of those teams make the playoffs, though. I think you have 3 from the AFC.
Okay. Yeah, I think the Bengals still Joe Burrow and the Bengals started slow last year. I think they'll get in their rhythm and win the division. And I also think the Ravens are going to get in the rhythm later on in the year, and I could see them winning the division. But I still got to go Bengals because I think they're just the best team still. Joe Burrow will figure it out. I'm not worried about them right now.
I appreciate the parity in picking different teams though. Like the last few divisions we have picked the same exact team. So it's more fun to be
Give them
different.
a little bit of spice. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly.
Yeah. I got to say, though, the last division was probably the hardest to pick. For me, this was the toughest decision.
So, shall we say on 3?
Wait, so what was it, Sam? What division?
Which division are we talking about?
Don't you know? You've been following track with what we've already picked.
Yeah. So we haven't picked the East or
Yeah.
we're picking
Exactly.
the East.
We did pick the South.
No, he said the East. We haven't picked the East.
Oh, no, we have not picked the East. That's
yeah,
only
that's the one. This was the toughest decision for
I
me
saved the
personally.
best for last. That's
Yeah,
all
this is a good one.
Okay.
So, on 3. 3, 2, 1. Dolphins.
Patriots.
Bro, what?
What do we? So, hold on. We have who?
Honestly, dude, I still. Oh man, I'm gonna go Patriots.
Patriots. Okay, Sam.
I said Dolphins too.
The Dolphins.
So,
Really?
I think
Hey,
that Mac
Fine.
Jones is going to have a little bit of a rebound year, and their defense is tough. I know they lost to the Eagles, but it was a close game, and the Eagles are a good team. So,
No,
Bills.
they did.
scare me, and I know the Dolphins looked great, but I'm not buying into it just yet. Their defense did get kind of shredded. You got to remember. So
That's true.
That is
you know,
true.
I'm going with you know what? It's been too long. Maybe it'll backfire, but I just think the Patriots are going to go like 11-6, and it'll be enough to win the division.
I think that would definitely backfire, but good on you for being bold.
Hey, I like it. Be bold. And I mean, hey, their defense, is going to be top 10. It's been top 10 for the last, 5-6 years. Bill O'Brien's back at court as offensive coordinator. Mac Jones, basically, if they don't start in a 16-0 hole, the Patriots probably win that game. And they had a chance to very late. They had that was it fumble recovery, right? And then I think they just couldn't.
It was just the one pick six. If that doesn't happen, they win. But Mac Jones looked better. And I think people were too hard on him. He was good his rookie year. Like, he was a pretty solid quarterback. He was a Pro Bowl alternate. So, Mac Jones can play in this league. Obviously, last year didn't go well. A lot of things were weird. So I think he got a lot of crap. I think he's better than people kind of give him credit for.
Hey, I like it. So Patriots, Dolphins, and I think we don't. I mean, the only thing is the Bills. I just don't like. I think the offense. There's not as much there as I thought there was, but maybe there could be. But if Tua stays healthy, I think the Dolphins have the best offense in that division, and I think that helps because all of those defenses are pretty good, except for probably the Dolphins. But then again, you also get Jalen Ramsey back about week 6 or 7, so that helps. So
yeah, I was gonna say too.
That was Dolphins, Bills, and Jets. Not Jets. Sorry, Dolphins, Bills, and Patriots were all. I said, it was really tough. Honestly, any of them can win, and I had a tough time deciding, honestly. So that's why I said it was the toughest decision to pick. But I'm gonna be bold. Matt picked the Browns, so I was like, I'm going Patriots.
There we go.
There we go. Come on, Sam, hit us with an outro. I think we're done. I think we're good.
We're set.
Yes,
We're good.
All right. Well, we got all our teams in. We got a little bit of trash talking. That's what's fun. The NFL season is finally back. We're back in that fantasy football mood too. So we're all set. We're gonna have a good time, and hopefully we're gonna be back soon in the next few days at least. So thank you guys for joining us again. This has been episode 30, big 30 of the Win is a Win podcast. I'm Sam Cookie, Charles H double, Matty B. We are signing off. See you guys.
Peace.